I'm Stan Hildebrand. I live at Sandhill Farm. I've been here for 30 years. Sandhill was started in 1974, and we're mostly an agricultural community. We always grow our own food, but we're always looking for a way to earn money, uh, extra money through agriculture. And early on in 1976, we came across making sorghum syrup. And so we've been making sorghum since 1976 as our main cash crop. Uh, Mostly we make food for ourselves, but we need a little cash crop. So sorghum is our main cash crop. It is an old-time sweetener that was grown all through the Midwest 100 years ago, and it was probably the most common sugar for most farm families up until about 60, 70 years ago. Now we're kind of reviving it with some other folk, and it's a very wholesome sweetener. It's a very complex sugar, and we think it's a lot healthier than white sugar, which is sold in the grocery stores. We sell our sorghum at fairs, and people come to our farm, and we also sell it at health food stores and grocery stores all through Missouri and in the surrounding states. Now in this video we'll show you how exactly we make sorghum right from the very beginning until the end, going through the whole process of the cooking process and harvesting it and making it into a thick syrup which lasts forever. Then it stores forever to sell to the customers.
The sorghum, we started all the sorghum from transplants. We had flats that we started in April, and then we pulled a planter behind the tractor and put all the little transplants in the ground. They were probably this tall when we put them in the ground, and cultivated them a couple times. But the last couple months they've just been growing, and these are a little bit immature. These stalks. They're ready to be, you can tell when they're ready just based on what the seed head's like, and there's a couple that are more developed and have that reddish hue and are more opened, and those are really farther along. This was the last field that we planted, and also just kind of the edge of the field tends to not grow as well because it's weedier for most of the season. But so anyway, when we come out for harvest, a group of people go out in the mornings and we just move through the fields, and in the morning time what we do is we strip the cane, and that's just removing the leaves and the seed heads from it. So we'll all just be in our different rows, and you can just remove the leaves this way. Really small stalks we just stomp down. And it's fun. A whole group of people will be out, and it's a good way to just get to know people and have conversations with those that are around you. And these are pretty short stalks, so it's really easy to pop the tops off. Sometimes they'll be like much taller than this, but you bend the canes over and just break the tops off. And then they spend the rest of the morning, you have a field full of stripped cane like this, and then as the sun is out, more of the juices come up and the starches start turning to sugars. And then we come out in the afternoon and we machete down what we stripped in the morning. But you can peel the outside off these stalks and you can chew on the innards, and it's really sweet. Yeah. So we bring the cane back from the fields on the wagon, and a couple of us load it into our sorghum press. The press has big rollers inside of it that squeeze the juice out, and we send the juice down to our other building, which we call the sugar shack, where we're going to cook it down. The leftovers, the cane that's been squeezed, are called pummies, and they run up a conveyor, and we save them and use them as mulch in our gardens and around our farm.
Okay, I'm Stan Hildebrand. I'm down at Sugar Shack at Sandhill Farm. This is where we make the sorghum syrup, and we've been doing this since 1976. Down in this building here, we do other things like, we call it Sugar Shack because we also make maple and we do our honey here as well. But this is the high point of our season. This sorghum is our main crop, kind of our main money crop, we call it our signature crop. It's what we are known for. We've been doing it since 1976. Down here in this building, back here to my right, here down here we have, this is where we're cooking it off, and all the steam you see going up is basically called evaporation. We're taking the water out of the raw juice, cooking it down into a syrup, which is thick like honey, and is a sweetener, and is very, very tasty, and it's an old-timey product that people used to use a lot. What happens here is we have two things coming into the building. We have juice coming in from up on top where it's being squeezed, where the cane is being squeezed. The juice comes in on that line back there into the first pan. This is a 3-pan cooking setup. So the juice comes into this pan at that end, and as soon as it boils, the skimmings, the green stuff at the end, goes off at the end, and that's the bitter stuff. In sorghum, that's what you want to get rid of to make a good quality product. So the juice comes in through here, goes into this pan first, gets boiled down, then it gets transferred to this pan through pipes underneath, and we take more skimmings off. Then the juice, now it's getting thicker and thicker. Now the juice goes into this pan, and it goes all the way down to the end, comes back, and over here is the finished product. Goes down in here, runs through a stainless steel screen to screen out any particles, that impurities, and then it goes down to the bottom, and we pump it up across into a cooler, which is just a coil, stainless steel coil in water, so that the sorghum, the syrup, is cooled off. We're taking it off at 230 degrees, and if you just put it in a barrel at that temperature, it just keeps on cooking itself, and it gets darker, and it gets a kind of a harsh flavor. So the main important thing is to cool it off as soon as you can. So it comes off here, gets pumped across there, gets cooled off, runs into a bucket, then we put it into the barrels for bottling. So the other thing that's happening here is that we're cooking it off with steam. The steam is generated in a wood-fired boiler just outside the building here. So the steam comes in on this pipe, goes underneath here, and that gets distributed to all 3 pans. The steam is in these copper pipes. As soon as I've got the steam turned off, as soon as I turn the steam on, and you see the boiling action, and that is what creates the steam and drives off the water to make a thick syrup. The steam goes through these pipes, goes back as condensate, condenses back to water, goes back outside, then it gets pumped back into the boiler so that the water is recirculated. Steam to water, then goes back, makes back into steam again. Now, Sugar Shack is also, we call it Sugar Shack because we do other sweeteners here as well. We make maple syrup, mostly for our own use, and then we do honey, all in the same building with a centrifuge, and we do that at different times of the year. The maple is in the spring, the honey is in the late summer, and then the sorghum is in the fall. So we have a steady progression of sweeteners coming through the building.